Tonight, the Las Vegas Strip witnessed a qualifying session unlike anything Formula One has seen all season. One defined by chaos, courage, and a title fight reaching boiling point. Under sheets of rain that turned the glittering circuit into a treacherous ribbon of standing water, Lando Norris delivered a masterclass that felt less like a lap and more like a declaration. The McLaren driver, already leading the championship by 24 points, seized his third consecutive pole with a performance that stunned even seasoned observers. But behind the celebrations lies a far more complex picture. His teammate and title rival, Oscar Piastri, could manage only fifth after being forced to lift for a late yellow flag. Max Verstappen, lurking just behind Norris in second, suddenly looks far more threatening than his slim title odds suggest. And as the grid shuffled in surprising ways, the biggest shock came from a seven-time champion stranded at the very back. The conditions at the start of qualifying were nothing short of punishing. Hours of rain had pounded the circuit, washing rubber off the track and leaving drivers to navigate what many described as driving on ice. Most teams committed to extreme wet tires during the early sessions, yet even with the most aggressive compounds available, grip was elusive. Norris initially struggled, unable to extract the sharp precision he's known for. But everything changed when the field finally switched to intermediates in Q3. Suddenly, the McLaren came alive. Corner after corner, his confidence grew while others hesitated, sliding through braking zones and fighting snap oversteer. Verstappen, usually the undisputed king of wet weather driving, pushed hard but couldn't match Norris's rhythm. The Dutch driver admitted afterward that even he felt on the edge of control, describing the surface as not fun and likening it to sheet ice, an unsettling statement coming from one of the grid's most fearless racers. Yet Norris's pole was far from smooth. His final lap, ultimately the decisive one, almost unraveled as he attacked the curbs. At the 14-15-16 chicane, the McLaren snapped violently, first one direction and then the other. But Norris managed to both save the car and keep the lap alive. It was a moment that encapsulated his season. Bold, risky, but executed with precision. Behind him, the unfolding yellow flag prevented several drivers from completing full attacks. Piastri among the most notable victims. The Australian later admitted there was more out there, but circumstances simply denied him the chance. Even so, he remains optimistic, insisting that McLaren's pace in all conditions keeps him firmly in the fight. But optimism may not be enough on a grid where track position is everything, especially with Verstappen poised to launch one of his trademark aggressive starts from the front row. If the Briton falters even slightly at lights out, the dynamic of the championship could shift in a single heartbeat. Further down the order, the surprises continued to mount. Carlos Sainz delivered a standout performance to take third in a Williams car, not typically suited to wet weather heroics. The Spaniard not only navigated the conditions with precision, but also faced an investigation for rejoining the track unsafely in Q1, an inquiry from which he ultimately emerged without penalty. George Russell slotted into fourth, giving Mercedes at least one strong starting position despite their internal turmoil. Piastri's fifth place, while disappointing given McLaren's overall pace, could easily have been worse had Aston Martin not gambled on switching Lance Stroll to intermediates in Q2. That decision, backfiring spectacularly, indirectly cleared the path for Piastri to advance into the final shootout. Meanwhile, the Racing Bulls impressed with Liam Lawson and rookie Isaac Hadjar, both securing top 8 positions, splitting Fernando Alonso in a mix of experience and youthful audacity rarely seen so deep into a season. But the biggest storyline beyond the title fight came from the other end of the timing sheet. Lewis Hamilton, a driver synonymous with brilliance in wet conditions, experienced one of the most difficult qualifying sessions of his career. For the first time ever, he was knocked out in Q1 purely on pace, finishing 20th and visibly frustrated. He explained that he simply couldn't generate heat in the tires, a critical element on a day when grip was desperately scarce. After a strong performance in FP3, the sudden downfall was as unexpected as it was costly. The rain, he admitted, changed everything. His starting position leaves him with a monumental task ahead, especially on a circuit where overtaking may be limited if conditions stabilize. As the field forms for a race scheduled to begin at 04 GMT, every championship point, strategic gamble, and moment of bravery will matter. And if qualifying taught us anything, it's that nothing in Las Vegas will come easy. As we look ahead to the Grand Prix, the strategic landscape is already shifting. Teams are preparing for a race in which weather may again play a decisive role. If the track begins damp or transitions between conditions, tire strategy could become a high-stakes puzzle, rewarding those who anticipate changes quickly. McLaren enters with a powerful advantage. 2 cars in the top 5 and a package that has shown consistent performance across both wet and drying conditions. But McLaren also faces the uncomfortable truth that split strategies might be necessary, with 2 title contenders inside one garage. Verstappen's Red Bull, meanwhile, may not possess the absolute grip McLaren has demonstrated, yet Verstappen's ability to manage mixed conditions gives him a strong platform from which to attack. A first corner shuffle could fundamentally alter the dynamics, and every team principal knows that a cautious approach at lights out may simply not be enough. Beyond the frontrunners, midfield teams sense a rare opportunity. Lawson and Hadjar, starting 6th and 8th, mark a defining moment for the Racing Bulls, a team often overshadowed by its senior outfit. Their strong qualifying positions place them inside striking distance of a substantial points haul, something that could influence their driver lineup decisions for next season. Fernando Alonso, sandwiched between the two, remains as unpredictable as ever. Even in challenging conditions, the veteran driver extracted remarkable pace from the Aston Martin, and few would bet against him making aggressive early moves to climb further. Charles Leclerc, starting 9th, faces yet another uphill battle in what has become a pattern of fluctuating fortunes for Ferrari. Though the team has shown flashes of competitive pace this year, they continue to struggle in changeable conditions, leaving Leclerc to improvise from behind rather than dictate the tempo from the front. Pierre Gasly rounds out the top 10, a position he earned through measured precision rather than raw speed. Alpine has endured a turbulent season marked by inconsistency and internal reshuffling, but Gasly's calculated approach in the wet gave the team a rare boost. His challenge will be maintaining track position against faster cars behind, particularly Hamilton, who will undoubtedly seek to claw his way forward in desperation and determination. The Las Vegas circuit, though wide in places, tightens brutally through its midsection, meaning overtaking will require not just speed, but impeccable timing. Drivers who misjudge braking points risk locking up on the slick surface and running wide, a mistake that could cost not one, but several positions. This creates a compelling tension between aggression and restraint, one that could define the early laps. With so many drivers out of sequence on the grid, the potential for early incidents is considerably higher than usual. For Norris, the pressure has never been greater. With the championship tantalizingly close, securing pole is only the first step. He must now convert it into a result that maintains or extends his lead over Piastri, whose 5th place start leaves just enough room for strategic unpredictability. Verstappen's presence on the front row complicates everything. While his title hopes remain narrow, his competitive instinct will not allow him to approach the race with anything less than full attack. A strong launch could place him alongside or even ahead of Norris into turn 1, where grip may still be inconsistent. The emotional component is impossible to ignore. Norris is driving like a champion-elect, but the weight of expectation grows heavier with each race. A single mistake, whether on strategy, in traffic, or under pressure, could swing momentum back toward Piastri, who has shown remarkable composure throughout the season. As engines prepare to ignite under the neon glow of the strip, this race promises a blend of spectacle and unpredictability unmatched by any other round this year. The field is scattered in a way that invites chaos. Rookies surrounded by veterans, title rivals staring each other down across rows, and a former champion fighting from the very back. And all of this takes place on a circuit that punishes hesitation and rewards bravery. With lights set to go out at 0400 GMT, viewers can expect a contest defined by razor-thin margins, shifting weather patterns, and split-second decisions that could reshape the championship. The storylines are stacked and intertwined. Norris's ascent, Verstappen's hunger, Piastri's unflappable challenge, Hamilton's struggle, and the midfield's resurgence. In a season filled with drama, Las Vegas may yet deliver the most pivotal chapter. Whatever unfolds, one thing is certain: the fight for glory is far from over.